Social media.
In this video, we're going to be talking about social media from the parents' perspective
And the teen's perspective.
to completely different perspectives. So stay tuned and
Let's get into it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Rite of
Passage.
I'm your host Benedicta,
And I'm your co-host, Angela.
and today we're gonna be talking about social media. This is a very interesting topic, and I feel like we have a lot to discuss. We're just gonna let it flow because we're talking from different perspectives. Mine from the perspective of the parents,
And mine from the perspective of a teen.
okay, so what comes to your mind when we start talking
When
about
I think of social
she
media,
can't even wait to get into it.
when I think of social media, I think of, how do you say, a community. I know it sounds very cringe, but the only reason I think of it like that is because to me, social media is a place for you to like not only entertain yourself but to also be connected with people,
I agree.
which can form a community.
Interesting perspective. But you know, when we were growing up, social media was not really a thing. And sometimes
Facebook was.
What did you say?
Facebook was.
Yeah, Facebook was. But that time, for you to talk to someone or to communicate with someone, you had to pick up the phone to call them.
Yeah.
You had to physically go and see the person. You make genuine efforts to connect with people.
Yeah.
And now I feel like because of social media, that art is being lost. Am I
Well,
wrong?
I think you're right in that sense. Only because like it's so much easier to talk to people now without having to go all out. So when somebody does something like that for you, just to go like all out, just to talk to you, not just like send you a text or anything, then that is a real gesture, especially in today's generation.
Exactly. Right? Because no, what's even coming through my mind is now with phones, you barely even call.
Yeah, no, nobody has time for that.
But you guys have time to text.
Yes.
Can you please make it make some sense? You know, I don't know. For me, I feel like it's better to talk over the phone, have a conversation with the person, that you get to connect more with the person, even though you can't see the person. There's still a form of connection. You can hear you can listen to the mood of their voice, you know, their tone, you know, form a better connection. Not as good as in person, but at least over the phone. Well, now you guys text, you don't know, then LOL, you don't know what mood the person is in.
That's true, because sometimes somebody can like text you something that they think is funny, but you're gonna think that they're like giving you a backhanded compliment or something. But if it was a call, you would hear the person's voice, so you would understand it. But there are some texts that aren't very clear.
Based on that means you agree with me, because I think that social media.
I was like, how did you twist it?
I didn't twist it because you just made my point for me. Because social media is affecting your generation
In a good way.
not in a good way. You just made
my
a point for me.
gosh.
Now you can't call your friends, you can't communicate.
No,
Sometimes
I'm not saying you can't call. I mean, you still
do
can.
you call your friends? Do you guys
No.
call? You prefer to text or leave a voice note than to call.
Yes.
I think that's part of the damage that social media is causing, because people do not connect genuinely anymore like they used to.
Okay, I think the issue with you is that
She said the issue with me.
people don't connect as they used to, but they connect differently now. I mean, just because I don't call or text my best friend doesn't mean that there aren't some funny things that I see that I don't send it to her and that can't spark a conversation.
Of course. See, I think that you're getting it wrong. I don't have any issues with social media. Right now, we're on social media. You too. But in my opinion, I believe everything should be done in moderation. And
what do you mean by moderation?
Moderation. There are times that you and your brother want to be on the phone when it's dinner time. That's family time. That's the time that we're supposed to have conversations. That's the time we're supposed to talk about our day, connect, or do other things. But you want to be on the phone chatting or dropping a voice note or playing a game. It's like where you're not even connected to the person that is right next to you.
Okay, that is true only because that there are some people who there are some people who take it too far. There's a difference between going on social media, sometimes looking at some videos, but there's a difference between going there and living there. Some people don't know.
Generation does.
No, because some people, I think it's different for everybody because some people do not know just how to drop their phones and just connect with the world around them. But I'm not making her point because I know it really does sound like I am. But I'm saying that with people, there are different levels. You know, there are some people who set a screen time limit because they know that they can get
some people. You can be direct. When you say some people, who are those people?
Her.
Yes.
She sets a limit so that she doesn't spend her whole day on Instagram or something. And I think that's good. That's healthy. But there's some people who can't even look up from their phone because they're so stuck in the digital world. And there's some people who just do too much by it.
And when you're saying that, you're only saying that because I have set the example and I have set the limits and the boundaries, which you were not in support of when I just started.
What do you mean by set the limit and boundaries?
Even for you, if I left you now, you will be on YouTube the whole day, or you'll be on social media the whole day. Parents, I have something called Family Link. If you don't know about it, please check it out.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's something that it's an app, Google app, that helps you to connect to your children's phone. It helps you to set limitations and boundaries on the kind of apps they can go on, the time they spend on each app. And it also helps you to have an idea of the sites that they are visiting. And
the only issue I have with Family Link is that it's so restrictive.
No, it's not. Why do you say it's restrictive? No, let me hear you.
It's because like there's sometimes that I'm just scrolling or watching something and then automatically it's like you've spent blah 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 on this app. You cannot use it anymore. And I'm just like, why is it? I was like, why is it doing that?
See, you're just making my point, because if I left you, you will spend your whole day on social media.
No, not me, because you know me. I do other stuff. Like I like to edit. I like to I watch videos. I like to edit. I like to do research.
The only reason you do editing, you do research, you find other things that you enjoy doing is because of the limits and the boundaries I've set on the time you spend on social media. As a result, forces you to be creative and think about other things you can do outside of scrolling throughout the day.
Here's a little story time.
Oh Lord have mercy.
So there was a period of time where I got my phone taken for the summer. I couldn't be on any electric.
No. You're starting the story from the middle. Why did you get your phone
because
taken?
I got in trouble at school.
Okay.
So I couldn't.
Are you going to trouble? What kind of trouble did you get
into? Okay, now you're pushing it. I got into trouble.
Let's do context here. You got into trouble with your phone.
Yes. I got into trouble with my phone, which ended in me getting my phone taken away for a whole summer.
This story she's giving is not straightforward, because
she
did something that she wasn't supposed to do with her phone, and as a result got into trouble at school.
Big trouble.
And her phone was taken away
for the whole summer.
That's the full context. Why would you want to give a story from the middle?
Anyway, so I had my phone taken away and I couldn't go on TV laptop, anything. So no electronic devices for the whole summer.
Yeah.
And that summer, it was kind of like, it was very hard for me because I was so used to being on my phone, and I was getting to the point where I was just sucked into
Addicted
I was addicted to it.
I don't know why, but you keep making my point for me.
No, let me get there.
Okay.
So I learned how to do other things like draw, paint, do different
Write
things,
poems,
write poems,
rap.
cook, different things that wasn't just online.
And if you're being honest, did that summer teach you something that you could actually survive without your phone?
It did, because now if like I do something bad or I like something and then I get my phone taken away for a day, it's not gonna kill me. But back then I'd be like, oh my god, what am I gonna do without my phone? But now I realize that I can live without my phone, and I can live in the now, but not inside the digital world.
But it took that summer for you to realize that you could actually survive and live without your phone, and it also forced you to be creative and look for other avenues to explore your creativity, because you were not always scrolling on social media.
I mean, yes, it makes sense that I wasn't scrolling on I wasn't scrolling on social media. And then, because even though I really didn't like that summer, I really wish that I hadn't got my phone taken away. Now I see that it was beneficial for me,
but when
only
it happened,
because
you
that
didn't like me.
Yes, it's always in the moment thing.
Yeah.
In the moment you don't like it, but then 2-3 years later you look back and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I am grateful for that summer, only because I really explored different parts of myself. I really learned different parts of myself, and I learned how to do different things, gain some more skills. Went to summer camp. It was a whole summer, a whole thing. But this brings me back to where I say that people are different. There are some people that need that summer without their phone, so that they can realize that they don't need to live inside their phone.
Which
but
was
because
the category you fell into that time.
I did, but because I went through that summer, I'm not a part of the category of those people anymore.
Okay.
You see me that there are some times that I could be on my phone, but instead I'm editing a video, or I'm drawing something, or I'm doing something creative. And then at the end, or maybe around bedtime, I'm like on my phone for a bit. So I try my best to limit the amount of time that I spend on my phone, because I know that now in 2024, it's a whole thing. iPad kids, everything. And I try not to fall into that category of people, because I want to, soak in the beauty of the world, not the digital world.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Now this is how you think, right? And it's very commendable, and I'm very proud of you that this is the way you feel about this now. But how did you get to this point? And what was the what influenced you to get to the point where now you're not always on your phone, you're doing other things creative? And
well, that's a good question. I feel like I'm on a talk show. Well, that is a good question, because during that summer, I couldn't sulk, right, the whole summer. I couldn't be like, I got my phone taken away, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I couldn't be in my bed all day. So obviously I had to get up. I had to just make the light of the situation. And I'd be like, oh, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do that. Or I just do different things. I learned how to, like you said, do poems, raps, just different things. And I put my creativity not into using my thumb, but also into doing different things that could also benefit me. And I still try to, mix both worlds. Mix the, oh, I didn't have my phone for a whole summer, and also mix the, I'm addicted to my phone. And let me explain. So now there are some times where the part of me where I didn't have my phone for a summer comes out, and it's like, oh, let me do this, let me do that, instead of being on my phone. And there are some parts where I just want to be on my phone for like an hour.
Yeah.
So I just kind of learned how to balance that. But still think that social media is beneficial, and like I said, it's a community of people. When you don't have social media, you can feel excluded from certain things, like trends. And like, let's say your friends are talking about this new trend. Because you don't have social media, you have no idea what they're talking about. And it can make you feel a type of way when they're talking about that, and you're just like, you have nothing to talk about or contribute to the table. It makes you feel like you're being left out, when really they're not leaving you out on purpose. So I feel like social media, not having social media, can exclude some people from certain groups and communities.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and the question I asked you was a trick question, because you were just able to prove that getting your phone taken away that summer was what laid the foundation for how you think now. So at the end of the day, at that period, you were getting addicted to your phone. You were always on the phone and all of that. And that summer, it took that summer for you to figure out how to live without your phone. And now you're at a point where you're not always on your phone. There are times you want to connect. There are times you want to talk to your family. There are times you want to play games, you want to watch a movie together, or have some conversations. That's actually where I'm going with all of this conversation. Don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against social media. I'm not saying social media is bad. Right now we're on YouTube. YouTube is a form of social media, right? And social media has its positives, a lot of positives, but
it also has a lot of negatives.
It also has a lot of
as does everything in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you have to have boundaries around everything, including social media. I don't let you stay on the phone all day. For the app I have, there's a time that your phone, you can put on your phone, and there are times your phone goes off, whether you're on it or not. That's my approach as a parent. And some parents might be okay with their kids having access to their phone 24/7, not sleeping on time, staying up to 1 a.m. on their phone. That's not how I roll. Because they have a bedtime, and with the app their phone goes off at that bedtime, so they have enough hours of sleep that they need to be functional the next day. And these are all
essential things.
No, these are all like training for when you get into college, because when you leave this house, I'm not always going to be there with you. You're going to be responsible for when you wake up, when you go for lectures, when you do your assignment, or even when you're working, you're going to have to be independent and be responsible. So these are just guidelines that's helping you, so that when you're older, you know how to navigate around those things. There are people that they're driving, they're on their phones. There are people that they're and when they say they're on their phone, they're not on a call, they're scrolling through like, Instagram, they're looking at Facebook. Like, a lot of accidents has happened. I don't want you as a teenager, the moment you start driving, you're on your phone looking at Instagram or looking at
a message or something,
YouTube or something. Now you know that, okay, that can wait till I park, or I can watch that later on, because of the foundation, which you might not really like me for. But
wait, I have a question. So what age do you think I need to be before I get all social media? Because right now, guys, why I'm so passionate about this is that I do not have a lot of social media at all.
What do you mean?
The most I have is YouTube right now.
Yes.
And
you've wanted to be on YouTube for a while. You've wanted us to do this. I intentionally wanted to wait till you were 13, because I feel now you're mature, you're old enough, and there are certain things I've seen in you for me to know that, okay, you're ready for this. But right now you don't have
I don't have Instagram, I don't have TikTok, I don't have Snapchat, I don't have any of those. The only thing I have right now is YouTube.
Yes.
And it's not like I'm embarrassed to say no, I don't have social media, because at the end of the day, it's not in my hands. So the reason why I'm passionate about talking about this right now is because part of me really wants to be a part of that community.
Of course.
I'm not saying that.
But do you think you're missing out something that is very foundational to your life or to your future?
What do you mean? Like, am I missing something out on social media?
No. Are you missing something that, because you're not a part of this, is going to affect your future?
Yes.
You're not being truthful. And you know me. You know me. You know your mom. I've given you access to things at a point where I felt that, okay, you're ready for this, right? There are times that you didn't even tell me. I said you were not going to have a phone till you were 13. But when you were 11, I was like, okay, I can see certain things and I think she's ready. And you got a phone earlier before I planned to give you a phone. That has always been the case. I said, you're not going to walk by yourself to somewhere. But at some point, I was like, she's ready for this. Because, yes, as parents, you try to keep your child in a bubble. But at the same time, I try to strike the balance. You have to let them be independent. Yeah, I have to let you be independent. And the older you're getting, the more independence you're getting that I feel is within your control. The only reason why I haven't given you Instagram, not because I can't give you, I personally feel that you're still not ready. You're almost there.
I am.
You're almost there. There's certain things I'm watching and I'm checking and I'm ticking as we go. You're almost there, but you're not there yet. There's something I'm gonna say. I'll be like, okay, this girl is ready. You get. So
but are we talking a long time?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's just like so many things that has happened. You didn't know you were gonna get a phone, and you just
pops on my lap.
It just happened. So you just keep it because you're doing an amazing job. You're a great daughter, and I love the woman that you're becoming, and you're doing a great job. And anytime you're doing a great job, I always want to encourage you, so you keep doing what you're doing. So our equation works. So don't let's mess it up.
What do you mean by that? Because either way, when I'm older, I'm gonna get social media, but that still doesn't mean our relationship and our system can't work.
No, our system has been working. That's why you've been getting stuff when I feel you're ready to get them. Yeah. And I know some parents are gonna come for me in the comments and say, how come she doesn't have social media, how come she doesn't have Instagram or whatever, but this works for us, and she's gonna get it. It's not the end of the world. She's gonna get it, and she knows she is gonna get it. I see the process and the way I've gone about things, how it has benefited her, and how she's growing into an amazing young lady. So that's my process. You don't have to follow that style. I know there are kids that are 5 that they already have Instagram,
they already have a whole phone,
they already have
a whole iPad,
they have all of those things. To each its own. Do what works for you. This works for me us. And this works for us. And I know she says all of that, but she knows that I'm doing what's best for her, and she knows that she has a lot of privileges that she did not think she would have at a certain age. I met someone of recent at a work dinner, and she said her kids don't have phones till they're 15. That's her process, and it works for her. What do you mean poor kids?
No, because
do you have classmates that don't have phones?
Well, at my old school I did.
Yeah, what do you mean old school? You just change your school. So literally, yes, you have classmates that don't have phone. Have they died? Are they worse off? Say the
No, not really.
Exactly, because there are a lot of also negative effect of social media.
Yes, but that's the issue.
There are people that social media makes them depressed. By the time they watch and they see, they think that's how real life is.
Guys, let me tell you now that my mom, she's a great mom, and I love her so much. But she.
So when you're saying the sentence and it's
great.
When you're saying the sentence and then there's a but in the sentence, it negates everything you said before.
No, but I'm just saying that she cares about me a lot. And that's a really good thing, but sometimes that can be a bad thing. Because now you just heard her talk about some bad sides of social media, but I understand that social media can really affect a lot of people's lives. Psychologically. There are some people who are what's that thing?
What's that?
Who are Yes, people who fall into depression because they don't look like this girl, they don't act like this girl.
Yeah, there's so much pressure.
There is a lot of pressure on social media, and I get that. But a lot of
Which
it can...
I say sometimes can get to you too. That's why I'm like, don't think
But a lot
ready.
of it can be positive too.
I just said we're saying the same thing.
Wait! I remember story time. I remember one time this was in like 6th grade, late 5th grade, early 6th grade.
Did you have a phone then?
Yeah, this was when I had a phone. I felt...
You had a phone by... No, you had a phone by 6th.
Yeah.
You were 11.
No, but I was thinking about it. But once I got a phone, it made it more clear. Okay. I felt very insecure because I had so much acne.
Okay, yeah.
I had so much acne and I felt like disgusting. I felt like not myself. So I would always see videos of these girls and their skin would look so clear and they're like lip syncing to something or they're doing a video, and that motivated me. I'm like, I want to have her skin. So now I did a whole... I spoke to my mom about it. We tried out different cleansers, and now we found out what works best for me. But if I hadn't, I was already doubting myself. But if I hadn't, if I hadn't gotten that motivation for something that I saw on social media, then I wouldn't have.
I feel like
it would have become later.
I feel like you twisted the story.
How?
Because that's not how that story went.
How did it go?
You had acne and you were insecure. As a child, I had acne too, and I was insecure, and I know how that feels. As a result, I went out of my way to try to look for different things that was going to work for your acne. It had nothing to do with social media.
No, because when I saw that girl's video, I was like, this is the cherry on top. I know what I need to do.
Okay, so what if all the things that we were trying for your acne did not work, and then you're still seeing all those videos? What's gonna happen? And what does that do to your confidence?
It's gonna motivate me more.
When you can see most of those people that you think they don't have acne or they don't have any blemish, but they're using filters. Did you even know they were using filters then?
I know, because now I do, because I saw a video about it.
Because you're old enough to know. So
but now when I was young, it motivated me to be as cute as I am today.
That wasn't what motivated you, girl. You're twisted. Don't get it twisted. You're twisted the story. What motivated you had nothing to do with social media. So don't let's connect something that shouldn't be connected.
It really did, though.
Hey, okay, if you
that
say
was
so.
part of why I came to talk to you about it.
What?
That was part of why I came to talk to you about it, and like we were trying out different facial cleansers and all that.
It was social media that made you come to talk to me.
Yeah, no, like it wasn't. That wasn't the only part, but that was the cherry on top. That was what made me.
But this cherry you keep talking about that's on top. I know that you felt a certain way. I had some of those conversations with you, and I told you about my own story, my own journey, and everything. And I didn't want you to go through that. I feel like social media was not part of the story, but okay, you're saying it now so that it sounds like, oh yeah, it was because of social media. But I know for a fact it wasn't. You were going through a phase. You had acne, and it affected your confidence, and I also went through that stage, and we had a conversation. Leave social media out of this. Yes, exactly.
But that basically means, what I mean by that was that social media can have positive effects. It can motivate people. But because you know me, I'm sensitive. I am sensitive sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. But I am sort of a sensitive person. So there are some things that I might see, or something that I might see that might hurt my feelings, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I hate social media.
You're saying that now because you're more mature. I'm telling you that you're someone that certain things can get to, right?
Yes, of course.
And at that time, you didn't know that people were using filters. You believed everything you saw online.
Yes.
And when I say at that time, I'm still talking about even till last year. Even it's now that you're becoming more aware. That's
because
why I said
I'm a teenager.
That's why I said that there's a time for everything. You're becoming more aware, and it's not everything you see online that you believe, and it's not everything that you see that gets to you. And I need you to I wanted you to get to that point before I expose you to the world out there, because social media has done a lot of damage
to people's
to
lives.
the children, and a lot of parents, I don't even know
What
their kids are going through. They don't know the apps that their kids are installing on their phones and what they're messing with. They don't know the people that they're chatting with their kids are pedophiles or people that are sick out there that are playing games and pretending to be kids, and meanwhile they're not
They're not who they say they are.
they're not who they say they are. And
Guys,
then,
write down in the comments, how old do you think a person needs to be before they get social media?
yes,
Write it down.
please, I'm interested to know.
I am too.
And like I said, to each its own. Whatever works for you, do you. But this works for us, and all of this, you're gonna get tired. And like I said, I'm studying, I'm watching, and
But I want to get tired.
yeah, you're gonna get tired. Don't worry.
I want to, but I haven't even gotten the chance.
Just like
to
you,
yet.
you want to drive today, right? You want
know
to
yet.
go. You want to go into college today. You want to have a big mansion. You want to do everything, but I want you to also enjoy the process and enjoy your childhood, because before you know what, you're gonna be an adult, and you have the rest
of
your life to be an adult. You only have the first 18 years of your life to enjoy your childhood, till you become an adult. And I don't want it jaded. I don't want it jinxed, Social media has a lot of negative effects on children, because you're still growing, you're still forming your opinions, you're still trying to understand certain things. You'd speak confidently now because of the foundation that has been laid,
Yes.
which you are not even aware of.
Yes, I am, because I already know that foundation, it has been laid, which is why I feel like
You are
I'm ready.
Yes. I understand where you're going, and it's something I'm thinking about, and I'm watching.
Root for me, guys.
And I'm watching, and I'm trying to see if you're truly ready. And that's why this YouTube is like the first step and trial to see how you handle it, how things go, and then we can move on to the next level. That's always been how it's worked, right? I keep opening up. No, I keep opening up the things you can do, your independence, as you get older. Because at some point, I'm not always going to be there. I'm not going to be in your life. I just want to make sure that the foundation is solid.
Has been laid.
So when I'm not there, you know right from wrong. You know what to do, what not to do. So that is my opinion on social media.
That is mine too.
That wasn't so bad. I thought we were really gonna disagree. But some parts
there were some making my points. No, not on purpose. Just to wrap the bow around it at the end. Social media has good sides and bad sides.
I agree.
Social media is a community, but it can also be filled with a lot of haters.
You keep saying a community of people you don't know.
No, by community now, I'm talking about, like, let's say there's a girl, right, and I'm friends with her, and then she's like, oh, go follow me on social media, we can talk more. And then there's sometimes that, there are sometimes that I might send something to her, or she sends something to me, and those are the ways that we communicate or we talk to each other.
That's
but
true.
By community, I'm not talking about like talking to random people on social media. No.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I also use
because
LinkedIn.
Now everybody has my number, and I do not want them to have my number. I would have said something like, here's my TikTok, or that, something like that. But
I agree with you. I've made some connections and some friends through social media, so I'm very much aware of the positive side of social media. But as a child that is growing, I feel like a 5-year-old should not have Instagram.
Not at all.
You should not have. There's certain apps you shouldn't have as a child. The older you get, the more access you can have to those things, and that's my opinion, because a lot of times you really don't know what your kids are watching. You don't know what they're being exposed to. You don't know what's messing up with their thinking, with their upbringing, the psychological effect of some of those things they're being exposed to too early. And that's why I really feel that social media should be something you have access to at a certain age. So I'm interested, parents. What do you think? And not to say that some of you parents that your kids have access to those things. Not to say that you're bad parents or you're doing things the wrong way. You're just doing what you feel is best for your for your situation. Excuse me, for your situation. But just be mindful of what your kids are watching and
doing online.
Yeah, you agree about that?
Definitely, there are some kids that are posting things that they should not be posting at this age at all.
See, and you know better because
I wouldn't do that.
And why wouldn't you do that?
Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you so much for watching this episode, and we hope you enjoyed it. Please leave in the comments what you think, and if there's any topic you want us to talk about, let us know in the comment section. So
yeah,
bye.
Bye.